All right. So, are you left brain or right brain?
I'm very right brain. I'm very right brain. Any left brain process I have is really just a lot of right brain processes faking a left brain process.
Yeah?
Yes.
Explain.
I don't know where I park my car unless I remember what shape the garage was in, you know.
Okay, so like I only remember by stores.
Sure.
Like I would, like when I lived in California for a while, and it was only like, well, 7-Eleven sucked because there was like 85 of them, so
Sure.
I couldn't work by that. But yeah, I lost my cars in malls and stuff.
Sure.
But so you're creative and not like good with organization and things like that?
I'm not at all good at an organization. I hired a grown-up for that. My role was to make business, and oddly enough, I don't consider business an organizational challenge. I think it's a creativity challenge. And,
oh, really?
And then I augment
How's
it.
that?
Well, because most problems come from having an existing structural problem. And most people try to say, oh, how do I continue to make this structure the same? Well, that's how there's a problem. So I can abstract and find something weird and then put it back together in a new way.
That I read a book about that recently.
Oh, I didn't write that one.
You didn't write that book?
No, I've only written some of the books. But
oh, it was about organization for creative or right brain people. It was all about like how a person with a right brain has to do things screwed up, then go back and figure it out from what he did wrong.
That's fairly accurate. You know, Sir Richard Branson was very dyslexic, and he used that in his advantage in business because he surrounded himself with people who were good at the details, but he was allowed to keep the abstracts, and so that was one great way to make that work.
Okay, so your Google Plus book, does it have I didn't find Hangouts in it, right? Does that come after?
No, we talked about Hangouts.
Oh, you do talk about Hangouts.
Yeah, we don't pull them out very explicitly or in any great detail, but there's there. In the second edition of Google Plus for Business, there's a chapter called Video, Hangouts, and More. And so I went back.
What is this edition?
This is the first edition.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're like doing the second edition now?
Yeah, it turns out they keep adding to the product, so I had to make some changes and add some things. And my book isn't really a technical book; it's a book about how to do business with it. But there was enough that had changed in how one would do business with it that I wanted to come back with the second edition.
Yeah, because I know you said it's probably going to change and it was new and stuff like that. So tell me about Human Business Works.
Human Business Works is a strategic advisory company. We work with mostly mid and large size businesses, helping them develop the digital channel. So not marketing and sales, but how do all the business touch points or the business aspects of digital work, meaning if I want to do business and I'm meeting somebody at a face-to-face event, how do I extract business from that? If I
like this.
Sure.
Social media people.
Well, no, any event, so any face-to-face. How do I get you at a grocery store to do something different than what you are doing? How do I get you as a car buyer?
So how would you do that?
Which, grocery store?
Sure.
I'm Kendall Jackson Wines. I push a code onto the side of my bottle that says, would you like to see what this would go well with? Would you like recipes to go with it? And it's based on where you physically snap the code. So if you were in the West Coast, I might give you chili. If you're in New England, I'll give you clam chowder.
New York?
New York, I would maybe go with a bouillabaisse and pretend I'm talking Southern. I don't know.
You're going to make me laugh and shake my camera.
Italian wedding soup. That's what I give you in New York.
I don't know. Calzone.
Yeah, calzone would be fine.
Where are you from?
I am from Maine originally, and I've lived in Massachusetts more than half my life now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, you're in Massachusetts?
I am.
Why do they think you're in Chicago?
I'm also in Chicago.
Okay.
And Kansas.
In Kansas?
St. Louis. A little bit of Minneapolis.
So you're like kind of a stand-up comedian and you do the road?
That is correct. Okay. I live in airplanes. I do my laundry in Massachusetts.
Okay. Did you ever want to be a stand-up?
I do. I am.
Oh, okay.
2 years ago, I was in Manhattan at a conference called Audience, run by the visionary Lauren Feldman, and I was on the stage, and half of the speakers were marketers, and half of the speakers were professional comics.
Really?
I was the only one who took it serious and learned how to do better at comedy, and I just never stopped.
Oh, okay, that's cool, because you are funny.
I was on the stage at Caroline's, touching the same wall that Jay Leno and Jerry Seinfeld and all these people, that was their start. and I was on the same stage. So, but stand-up comics don't make a lot of money.
I know that.
So,
Yeah, I did in front of the camera, but I like writing. I sold jokes. I sold jokes like Jay Leno and Joan Rivers.
I never met a joke seller until 3 years ago, when a boy introduced himself to me by saying I sold a joke, and he told me all about it, and I was fascinated.
Really?
Can't tell the joke.
Huh.
He worked blue.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so what is your favorite thing to do?
My favorite thing to do is empower other people to believe more in themselves after this whole world has ground them down into thinking they have to conform to be something else.
Okay. So, yeah, like yesterday you were talking about, like, if 4 people say you're good and 1 person says you're not, then, see, I do that. I focus on, like, the bad thing.
We all do. Almost all humans alive do. The most famous self-help people in the world also do. They just have processes to fix that challenge.
Yeah. Like?
Well, you talk yourself back up again. You remind yourself that opinion is someone else's opinion. It has nothing to do with you. You untangle yourself from their perspective by remembering that they have their own agenda. Perhaps they're saying that because they're a competitive product or service or writer. There's a million things that go into why somebody says what they do, and you don't control or own or are responsible for any of them.
So what other people think of me is none of my business?
Bingo.
Right, okay. And, so what about, like, family and stuff? Should you listen to them if they say, like, you're out of your mind, don't do it this way?
So that's really difficult. You want to sort of honor the covenant of your family, but you have to really...
Not family like wife necessarily, but like...
No. I mean, your parents don't know. What do your parents know? Your parents know their biography. And they're still... Your parents are putting on you everything that they wish they had done differently. Everything they're worried about. They all come from fear. I mean, everyone's parents come from fear.
I don't think my parents came from fear. They were actors. They came from, like... But it was the Jewish thing. It's like, the son should be a doctor.
Yes.
And the girl should
be whatever.
Marry a doctor
good way.
or something. Yeah.
Good way. So no, the parental challenge is, my parents were great. My parents were very loving, and very supportive, and of course there's still psychoses that come with it, because you should keep a good job your whole life. You should be.
Is your father funny?
Very funny, very subtly funny. My mother's very, quietly funny as well.
Yeah. I just saw that. I did wish your dad a happy birthday.
Thank you.
He wrote me back, and I loved his beard. He has
a very nice beard. He's a professional poker dealer in New Hampshire, and people routinely call him Santa.
Really?
Unless the cards are going poorly, and then they
He's
call
not
him
fat, though, is it?
He just quite.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He's a jolly old soul.
Oh, okay. I shouldn't have said fat. Fat's a bad word.
To people who are fat, it's a bad word.
Okay.